How's it going everyone, my name is GBG and this is my coverage of Assassin's Creed Mirage. And welcome to Baghdad. First and foremost, I'd love to thank Ubisoft for allowing us to try out the game at the event that took place last week. And with that, I really do appreciate you. Thank you. Because it has been a while since I played an Assassin's Creed game that made me feel like I was an actual assassin. But before we get into the assassination subject, I'd like to say that the parkour has been improved drastically, or taken back to its roots. So I went ahead and tried climbing a few things like higher walls where there's no ledge to hold on to just to see if the game or the player could abuse the mechanics of the wall climbing and somehow fly up there, you know? And it didn't work like that. So you would have to stick to the sides of the walls and hold on to its corners and edges. Otherwise, you'd just fall off. I was very happy to see this because it definitely took me back to the older Assassin's Creed games, which everyone, I speak for everyone when I say it, everyone missed it. Everyone missed the good parkour in this game. Although it may not seem as fleshed out as what the later build of the game will bring to us at release date, but for the time being it's looking decent. And I may say this because I played it myself and it felt good to actually do parkour. So, assassination wise, I feel like people fell out of love with the newer Assassin's Creed games only because it took away the elements that made us feel like an assassin. The ability to keep stealth and one-shot enemies, that actually made sense when it comes to being an assassin. When you assassinate someone, they don't get a second chance in coming back to life. So, I'm glad it's back. We can actually one-shot some enemies. And bear in mind I said some enemies, because it seems to me that we may have to have our Hidden Blade fully upgraded to max for us to be able to one-shot certain enemies. But it seems this is only the case when you're on the ground. When you try to assassinate an elite enemy on the ground, they just push you away. They literally get stabbed the first time and then they somehow miraculously come back to life. Not even that, they just push you away. They just kick you out and out of the way. And then they just fight you and destroy you because they are very strong. Here's an example. If this guy wasn't an elite enemy, but this guy right here was, and look what happens. He just kicks me out and fights me. And now I'm in trouble because I did not know how he fought. And I get absolutely destroyed. Although I parried him here and there, I was still struggling because this man was just different. He was hella strong. He does throwing knives, he does kicks, he does all kinds of absurd attacks, and he even parries you, so you gotta be super careful. This is what they mean by Basim isn't meant to fight directly. He's more of like a stealth character. But in my case, because I thought, oh, I'm the god of war, let me go ahead and fight him, I get destroyed. But I digress, because it only took me a few attempts to then adapt to his moves and go ahead and destroy him, which you'll see later. Now, if you're new to my channel, then you may not know that I pretty much am a sucker for combat mechanics in video games. Assassin's Creed Mirage has a very simple yet satisfying combat mechanic, which I love, to be honest with you. The parrying system seems to work just fine, and if you get used to that, it'll become somewhat very satisfying. Here's an example. By doing a parry, you can then follow up with a kick. I call it the Spartan kick because that's exactly what it looks like. So you do a parry, do a Spartan kick to push the enemy away. Bring out the throwing knife, throw it to their legs, and run up to him and assassinate him. Do you know the type of potential you can do with the parrying system in this game? Like I said, it is very simplistic, yet very satisfying. If you use the tools that Basim has, then you'll be pulling out some pretty amazing looking combat sequence in this game, which I cannot wait to see what people are going to be coming out with. And that was a pretty much very basic thought or what I just have in mind right now, which I didn't get to try because, hey, now that I'm looking at the video, I'm seeing it and I'm thinking, I could have just Spartan kicked him away and then threw a knife to his leg and had him like stunned, run up to him and assassinate him. How sick that would have looked like if I had done it. Now that I think about it, now that I'm watching the video back, and I regret not trying, because at the moment, at the time of trying the game at the event, I was just like, oh, there's so much I have to do and I want to explore and learn and the combat, and that didn't come to mind. But right now, it's all coming back to mind. So all I need is a game. When the game releases, I'll be definitely doing a combat sequence in this game and make it look as good as possible. But for the time being, guys, here's what you can do in this game. You have up to 4 throwing knives, and which you can replenish by picking up some stuff like around the city, as well as going back to the base and, you know, replenishing it just before your missions. But the throwing knives are your most notorious weapons. Like, they are very useful, very handy to use in combat, especially for stunning enemies, so you can get a breather and kind of like run away if you get overwhelmed, especially if you're being chased by a brute. A brute has a weakness on their foot, and these smaller enemies, you can just one-shot them by aiming at their heads. By the way, the aiming system seems to be kind of slow. I don't know why, but I'm gonna have to wait until the final product comes out so I can see if I can increase the sensitivity. But for the time being, it is very slow. So this is me trying to learn the mechanics in the game. This is like really early on. As soon as the event started, I was just messing around with the combat straight away. I was going around fighting and causing trouble so I could see if I could fight at least one enemy at a time, and gradually increase the amount of enemies to see if I could take on 2, 3, including an elite, and you'll see how much I improved towards the end of this video. Effective ways to take on enemies in this game is side dodging, as well as parrying the yellow attacks that you can see coming your way. Fighting elites is very unpredictable because they can parry you when they are just like standing there and it looks like they're not going to do anything or attack you, but they are actually on their guard. So you need to be very careful not to attack them when they're just standing there looking at you, because that's when they're going to parry you and kill you. I almost forgot to mention there are wall assassinations, which look pretty awesome. And now onwards, I'm just gonna go on a rampage, just assassinating everyone, and just really starting to get the feel of the game. As you can see, I just threw my knife, quickly closed in on the enemy, and then swiftly took him out with the assassination. You can do this in this game and it looks pretty swift, just like so. Bang, walk off, and it looks so good. So I was quite mesmerized with how they animated that, I'm not gonna lie to you, because it's been a while I've seen it in Assassin's Creed games, therefore it is good to have it back. And also, when you're gonna close into an enemy, you can't just assassinate them from afar. Basim will leap towards them and assassinate them mid-air. You can also assassinate enemies while at the top of a building. What Basim will do is just fall towards them and assassinate them mid-air, which is pretty dope. Now, we spoke a lot about combat, but we didn't speak about our skills and upgrades and things we can do for our survivability chances to increase a little. Like I've mentioned earlier in this video, you can upgrade your dagger, aka your assassination blade, as well as your tools. So your quick tools are your assassination dagger that you can throw, your stun grenade that causes noise, and your smoke grenades that allows you to escape when things get too hectic. So those are the things you have, and you also have a torch and a blow dart that you can put enemies to sleep with, as well as a trap, and of course the torch, which I already mentioned. Now, if you're wondering where is this location, well, this is at the base of the assassins. So you will have a base where you go back to, and you will have a shop there, a shopkeeper that will allow you to upgrade your weapons, like your hidden blade, and of course your tools that you use in combat or in stealth to survive. As if that wasn't enough, you can actually modify your throwing knives to do such things, such as poison or put to sleep, you know. And to me, it kind of gives me like an elemental vibe, you know. And I was like, okay, well, this kind of opens up things a little bit more, you know. So your throwing knives, like I said, they are going to be your game changer for this game. Honestly, they are your notorious weapon that you want to have with you at all times. Now, That being said, guys, I really enjoyed playing Assassin's Creed, so once again, thank you so much Ubisoft for giving me the chance to play this game. I cannot wait. I am super pumped and super excited to play this game. I hope you guys felt the same. If not, then let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of the game so far, what you think about my experience, what my thoughts. And yeah, let's discuss what you wanted to change, what do you want them to change. And I'm sure they're watching this video, so they'll probably take into consideration of the things you mentioned, okay? And with that, my friends, I thank you for watching my video, and I would really appreciate it if you could leave me a like and subscribe if you want to become true best friends. And yeah, I will see you in my next video. Stay excited because there is much more to come your way. Peace.